Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Haukke Manor. This is an instance with the usual creepy haunted mansion tropes where the previous denizens may or may not have gone insane, and you're here to screw up their night. My name is Ms. Tech, and I'll be your haunted house dungeon guide. You start off in the grand foyer of the mansion. Ahead of you is a staircase blocked by a magical barrier. Behind it is Mike Wazowski, who's had way too much Red Bull. We need to find a way to get through this, and it really doesn't take a rocket scientist to assume it has something to do with slaying all the other bosses. The first floor we enter leads us through a massive hall with rooms on either side. As always, be sure to peek into each room for not only chests, but also for tiny keys that you'll find in random spawn points in the instance. Pick all of these up. Of the trash, you really have to watch out for manor maidservants. They patrol through the hallways and will cast a point-blank AoE the moment they are within range of their first target. This cast can be interrupted, saving you a little bit of time if you're able to do so. Our duty objectives are a little different this time. We've set out to find keys throughout the instance that will lead us to the different floors of the mansion, and then ultimately back up to that first staircase to the final boss. The first boss is the Manor Clavager. She has a pretty spicy cleave, so make sure to keep her away from the rest of the group. Any melee damage dealers that rely on flank positioning should watch out here. The Clavager also casts Void Fire 2 on a random party member. This is an AoE spell that targets the ground underneath you. You have plenty of time to move out of it, so no one should ever get hit by it. The room is also nice and spacious, so if your group is stacked with ranged, you have plenty of room to spread out. Lastly, she has a point-blank AoE called Dark Mist. Easy to see, even easier to get away from. Once defeated, the Clavager will drop the green key, which, oddly enough, opens the ivy door that we saw before entering this first room. The ivy door leads us into the basement of the manor. Everyone knows that the cellar is where rich people keep the dead bodies of their enemies, so naturally it's full of skeletons and other dead stuff. The trash is pretty much the same thing you saw on the first floor. The next encounter is the Manor Steward and the Manor Jester. The Jester is a ranged spellcaster. We focus him down first. The only thing to really watch out for here is the Steward's point-blank AoE, but this has happened so many times in this instance already you can do it in your sleep. By the way, this can be interrupted if you don't want to move. These two will drop a bloody parchment that you'll use to get to the last boss. Hurry back up to the front of the instance to meet the final challenge. Well, almost. First, you need to fight Mike. Now, Mike will attack as soon as you bring down the barrier, so tanks get ready. At around 50%, he will run away to activate the last boss. You can let him go, because we don't need him anyway. Before you run headfirst into that last boss room, there is one more secret room tucked away upstairs. So unless you want to miss out on the fat loot dropping from that hidden chest, carry on. Lady Amandine is the final boss in Haukke Manor, and her encounter is awesome. There are a ton of things to keep your eyes open for, so no tunneling, unless of course you love dying. The room you fight in is very spacious, and you might notice targetable lamps in each corner. Keep these in mind, you'll be using them a lot. Throughout the fight, Lady Amandine will light these lamps, causing a number of AoE effects to fly across the room, slapping you in the face in the process. While there is a lot of group damage during this, I also did notice the boss does do a lot more damage per each lamp that's lit. I can't confirm this yet, but bottom line is turn off those lamps ASAP. You can do this easily by positioning your group near each lamp, or assigning players to take care of certain corners. Then, as soon as the lamps go on, click click boom. Lady Amandine will also summon bombs throughout the fight. For us, she seemed to summon these when her lamps were active, but be ready for them anytime. These should be killed immediately. Just watch out for their suicide blast if it does get to that. In some groups we've had ranged kite them bombs, in others I've just tanked them and gotten out of the way of the blasts. Both ways work, it's just a matter of deciding what you can handle. Near the end of the encounter, Amandine will summon a few adds. These spawn all over the room, so grabbing threat over your healing can be challenging. If you're having trouble, get your healer to stand near you, so when they inevitably come after them, you'll be there to save the day. The damage going out to the group at this point in the fight is insane, so healers stay on your toes. Tanks use defensive cooldowns wisely. I suggest focusing each add down as quickly as possible to get the outgoing damage to something a little more reasonable, and then refocus back on Amandine. If it so happens that your group DPS is amazing and Lady Amandine is very low with all the adds up, by all means just focus her down, burn her down. Good work, team! While Haukke Manor isn't that much of a step up in difficulty from the previous dungeons, it definitely requires a little more focus than the previous ones. It's a nice introduction to what's to come. I'm looking at you, Corn. Up next, Brayflox's Longstop. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.